Hey, this is Notser, and this is the Tier 7 US Premium Cruiser Atlanta. It has 16 main guns, 8 torpedoes, 40 AA guns, a surface detection of 11 kilometers, top speed 32.8 knots, total health 27,500. Modules used: reduce crit chance on main battery, increase AA range, reduce flood and fire chance, faster rudder shift. And for my commander, situational awareness, basic survivability, basic firing training, faster turret traverse, lower chance for fire, lower cooldown on damage control. We're on the map north. I spawned in on the east side, I headed for C, and I ran into an enemy Atlanta. Now, the Atlanta has a lot of weaknesses. It's basically an oversized destroyer. It has destroyer guns, and its steering system is very sluggish. So right off the bat, you really need to have reduced crit chance for main battery and faster rudder shift, or this ship will just not be playable. It's just too sluggish in turning, and the guns break a ton even with reduced crit chance. Probably the biggest thing that you need to keep in mind with the Atlanta, it has terrible gun range, 11.1 kilometers. Its detection range, 11 kilometers. So you're basically detected when you get in range to fire your guns. That means you get focus fire pretty fast. So you need to be very careful with the Atlanta. You need to be basically engaging with other Atlantas or other teammates. Now, I run into this enemy Atlanta. I knew he was on C, and I'm going to open up with my guns. Now, I land a couple, he lands a couple. Right now, I'm ahead in health, but he takes out one of my guns, and I'm still ahead. He sends out torpedoes. Still ahead. It really is just a race. Who can hit most of the shots before the other target kills you? It's just that simple. We're too close. It's too easy to hit. I'm just trying to kill him as fast as I can. HE loaded, really small caliber, and we kill him. We still have a third of our hit points. Now, we lost a gun. 2 of our guns were crit. Some of our torpedoes were also crit, but they can be repaired. Now, I would love to take C. It looks like most of the enemy is somewhere around B. Now, B is okay. It can't transition to any other point easily. C allows you to capture one point and then transition to D, which I love to do on this map. Since they put that gap in there, it's a fantastic way to help your team win. Unfortunately, there are far too many enemies over by B that can crossfire and hit me. You can basically see your detection range. It's the range of your guns. If any ship is within your range of your guns, you are going to be detected 100% if they have line of sight. So you can't afford to be detected. You are just too squishy. Remember, you're just an oversized destroyer with really slow rudder shift and vulnerable guns. Your torpedoes might as well not even be there. They're the same crappy US torpedo range that you're all well aware of. 4.5 kilometers. Just awful. But you can find a reason to keep players honest. I know in my experience, I will exploit if a target cannot use torpedoes. So sometimes people will forget that the Atlanta has torpedoes, and you can make them pay for that. So we capture C. We're not going to be able to go through the gap to D. We will have to go north and then turn around the island. It's just too close to the enemy, and they're basically moving this way, a couple of them at least. Now this Clemson, he spotted me. I don't really have a good shot on him, and he's moving away. So initially I was going to go after him if he committed to the gap, because clearly it's basically me on his eastern flank and a battleship and a cruiser on his western flank. If he came my way, he could ultimately break through and perhaps put damage on the friendly carrier, which I don't like at all, obviously. Carriers are fantastic. You should not underestimate your ally carriers. And we're taking fire. We're going to angle, of course, as best as we can. You need to kind of predict what the enemy wants to do since your rudder is so sluggish. And again, I cannot reiterate enough, you need to have those modules. Main battery and rudder shift. This ship is just not playable. It's sluggish, and the guns go out constantly. But it's fantastic at doing damage to enemy battleships because they have such a long cooldown on their guns. You can put tons of salvos on a slow-moving target, light them up, let them burn. It's fantastic for that. Its gun arc is very difficult when you're trying to hit a long-range destroyer or a fast cruiser, like a Phoenix, an Omaha, a Murmansk. These really agile cruisers that have the ability to maneuver. They're very difficult to land at range, unless of course they're completely lazy, but then they wouldn't matter. So we're headed to D. We're going to try and capture it. We know the enemy New Mexico is headed to D. Someone is capturing C. Now it could be that New Mexico, but it's a little dangerous, right? I'm not seeing a lot of enemies on the map. Clearly, you only see 4 right now on the map, and there's still 10 enemies up. So we've got 6 enemy ships unaccounted for. We know there's at least 1 at sea. It's not viable, in my opinion, to capture D. How can I tell that, Notser? You don't have any knowledge of what's going on. I just have the game sense to realize when I'm in over my head, and I'm in over my head. There's going to be a battleship that comes around the corner, and probably the ship at sea will have crossfire to hit me. Maybe there's a third at sea. It's just game sense. You just get used to trends that the enemy were showing, and earlier when you saw them on the map, probably 3 or 4 of them were headed this way. Now, not all of them committed, but some of them did, definitely. Now, an enemy destroyer, looks like the other enemy destroyer got around and over to the ally carrier. He's going to have one hell of a time trying to fight off the enemy destroyer. I would love an enemy destroyer to show up. The Atlanta murders enemy destroyers. It's no contest. It's like Armageddon for those destroyers. It feels so delicious murdering them that way. Putting them in their place. No torpedoes for you today. So, we know something was at sea. We don't know if he continued north, went through the gap. We know no one's at D, at least. So we know probably the battleship that headed to D is sluggish or whatever. Still don't see an enemy, and now we are spotted. It's an enemy battleship. Okay. New Mexico class. Sluggish. The early tier US battleships are very easy to hit. At full strength, we would have access to 7 of our 8 turrets. So that is 14 guns on target. Obviously, we've lost 1 turret. So we only have access to 12 guns. So we're landing pretty good shots. If you want to get a large target hit, this is a ship for it. You can get like 300-400 in a high tier game. And an enemy Atlanta went through the gap. I want to move as far away from the Atlanta as I can. The enemy battleship is no longer in line of sight, so I drop off radar. The Atlanta cannot attack me, thankfully. And basically, if I'm out of range, he's out of range. One thing I would do in the Atlanta, and I'm using my US cruiser captain, you want to get anything that improves the rate of fire or the gun range for caliber 155mm or below. So basic and advanced firing training. The AA focus stuff. Secondary guns. It really helps the ship. And it's fantastic, obviously, because it's a cruiser. You have defensive fire. The AA is alright. It could be better. You lack the fighter, but it's pretty good. It's pretty fun. And the New Mexico, obviously, continuing his pursuit. And I'm going to maneuver as hard as I can to avoid any fire, and I'm going to lay down the pain. Now, he's got something like 30 seconds of no recourse, and I noticed on the minimap, enemy destroyer showed up. That's how often you need to check the minimap. And we're not going to let this guy screw with us. No, no, no. We're going to screw with you, man. Look at the damage we're putting out. Propulsion, torpedoes, and he's dead. He had probably 5-7 seconds to react. I bet he thought he was smooth. He's like, oh, this Atlanta, he's engaged with the New Mexico. He won't know what's coming. Nope. I actually look at my mini-map. That's why I keep it at the largest setting. And the New Mexico takes a ton of torpedoes, and we finish them off. So, we know there's an enemy Atlanta somewhere by D. I figured he was going north. So I was going to do the whole ring around the rosy. I'm going to go in the gap, and he's going to come north, and I'm going to move out of his range. That's what I thought I was going to do. I didn't really care about taking C at this point. I figured the Atlanta would be heading right behind the Clemson and trying to take me out. So I'm just sailing. I see that the enemy only has 4 ships left. One is the Atlanta, capturing C, but I don't really care about C. I'm going to continue on through C, through this beautiful gap. For those who don't know, this gap was only added for open beta. It did not exist in closed beta, and I'm detected. What? I was ready, though. Could have happened. So the only time my torpedoes are useful, short-range torpedoes, and he turns right into it when we take him out. Oh, man. If we did not land, and I see a Chikuma, I'm like, what? No way I can fire on the Chikuma, right? But a Chikuma? Why is a Chikuma in this game? Someone's division didn't work out as planned. A Chikuma. Chikuma is like tier 2 cruiser, Japanese cruiser, I think, tier 2. And this is a tier 7 game. Yeah. No threat at all. Even at my low health, I'm like, okay, capture C. I'm going to move towards D. The Chikuma was headed south. I'll probably bump into him, kill him, and then we'll locate the enemy carrier, right? 4 kills. I can't stress how lucky I got with that torpedo. If he would have angled just right, the torpedo would have missed, obviously, because we were basically at point blank. I didn't have the ability to lead the target ideally. It was just panic. But he turned right into it, and we killed him. We didn't have enough health to go one-on-one against Atlanta with that much health. Friendly carriers, fantastic. He spots the enemy Chikuma for me. It's very rare that I run into carriers that actually help the team. So, we're waiting for the Chikuma. He's 5 kilometers. I'm keeping HE, I don't really care. It's irrelevant. He's so low, probably HE could penetrate his armor. I just want to take out his modules and kill him as fast as I can. So, first salvo, 4,500. Next salvo, only 2,600. He lands a little bit. 3,800 on the last one, and is this gonna kill him? No. And he put out the fire, that jerk. And you can see, we're getting basically 3 salvos for every salvo he gets off. And he's only got 3 to 5 guns firing. Where we got something like 12. So we take him out, which is fantastic. 5 kills in Atlanta, 186 rounds hit. And the enemy carrier showed up on the map. He's over here. We have a chance at 6 kills, my friends. There's probably 80 points left in the game. And we're out of range because that's the Atlanta. The range is really difficult to get used to. You can't play it like a cruiser. You gotta play it kind of like a destroyer. You need to be hidden a lot of times until you get first strike. And the friendly carrier drops a fantastic torpedo attack. 4 of the 6 land, and we're just going to try and finish him off. Most likely causing flooding, most likely he used damage control, and he's at our max range. We need to lead a little bit better than we are, and now we're getting the target in range, and you can just see us melt this guy. And there you go. 6 kills, enemy carrier dies at the end. Ooh, so satisfying killing that carrier. So 6 kills, with 1 being a torpedo kill and another one being a full health destroyer just trying to sneak up on us. Base XP 2437. Fantastic. I'm so thrilled that I was able to get a good game before the night was over. It was an awful night, full of stomps. I would not want to go through it again. We did around 83,000 points of damage, most of it in HE. A single torpedo was all we needed to kill that Atlanta. I hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you next time.